Welcome to day 85 of our BitClout journey. Another exciting day in the world of BitClout. There's not too much news happening today. We had the exchange listing over the last couple of days, so I think people are still excited about that. But we did hit an new all-time high for the price of BitClout early this morning Eastern time. I think it was around $192.20, I believe. And it's hovering right around there right now. At the time of this video, I think it's at like $191.40. But I mean, I think that's huge that the price has gone up and surpassed the price that was set on BitClout before they went public. So, like people said, oh, when it opens up and when it goes public and when people can trade it, the price is going to fall. So it's not really worth what BitClout says it is. And a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are saying that too. But now that it is public and people can trade it, we see the prices going up. And really, who knows how high the potential is? Could it reach 200? Could it surpass 200 and go to 300? Nobody really knows.
Yeah, I've been watching the order book the last couple of days since it launched on
Blockchain.com.
Yeah, blockchain. And there's actually been a lot of buy orders, some really big blocks. So like yesterday, there was a huge block of like, I think 18 or 1900 at 180, then another big block of like 1200 at 170. So you can kind of tell that I was going to push upward because the sell orders in the order book were very thin, like they were like 50 BitClout orders, and it jumped up really quick. So if one of those 180s decided to buy the 1800 at the sell, then it would just push through all those sells. So that was kind of a tell that I was going to move up. It doesn't always happen that way. I mean, there could become, because new sellers could come in and push it down, but it has gone up. And I think I have a feeling we're going to continue to see it push towards 200. It's just based on what I'm seeing from the order book. It doesn't mean that's for sure going to happen, but there's definitely buying pressure. And I think it is surprising to some people who, especially the skeptics who said, oh, you can't sell it. Once you can sell it, it's just going to plunge because everybody's going to come and start selling it because everybody made so much fake monopoly money. But now you clearly see this is real money and people aren't selling. So that's all positive.
Yeah, when Brian talks about the order book, it's just the book where it shows, you can see where people put buy orders and sell orders in. So say it's at 191 and I could put a buy order in at 180. So as soon as it hits 180, it would automatically buy that for me. So people set these limit orders so that they can try and get it at their price point. So you can kind of see like what people are thinking. By no means is it 100% perfect when you see like, thin orders or thick orders or heavy buying pressure. Like you can't just make a prediction based on that, but you can use it to kind of guess, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's something that's important to note is that there isn't a tremendous amount of volume, so things can easily be manipulated. Like if some of the original investors, like maybe the VCs, said, hey, we want to kind of put a floor under 180 and not let it fall under that, they could easily do it with probably a couple $1 million.
Yeah, that's an excellent point as well. So in other news, I guess you could call him a Bitcoin maximalist, Robert Breedlove. He's big on Twitter. He has like, I think around 100,000 followers on Twitter, 130,000 followers maybe. He actually claimed his BitClout account early this morning. And his username is @breedlove22, I believe. And he hasn't gotten his account yet, but it looks like that's going to be something that takes place. As far as whether he's going to use his account or not, who really knows? But he did claim it, and it's funny because he's getting attacked by all of his followers now because they're all Bitcoin maximalists, all calling it BitClout a scam. And they don't really have a reason why they're calling it a scam. They're still using the talking points from 3 months ago when you couldn't sell it and when it wasn't open source. But BitClout's not a scam, obviously. I mean, everything's 100% open source and you can read the documentation. You can sell it, so it's not like they're selling you a currency that you can't get rid of. So it's not a scam. You can call it a scam if you want, but you're wrong. But yeah, I think it's interesting that he got on the platform, and it's going to be interesting to see if he actually uses the platform. I'm guessing he's going to experiment with it and see how it works. So
A lot of big crypto people are entering pretty early, and that's really good sign that they at least think it has potential, and they're kind of cleaning their names. I mean, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. I mean, that you can't really get a bigger, more high profile crypto individual than Armstrong, and he claimed his account a couple days ago. It's a good sign, I think, and especially these guys that are known for being maximalist of Bitcoin, because it's saying, like, really, we were ourselves only buyers of Bitcoin. We didn't really dabble in any other cryptocurrencies until BitClout, and the reason we jumped into BitClout is because it reminded us so much of back in the early days of Bitcoin, when everybody was skeptical, everybody was calling it a scam, everybody was saying, oh, there's no use case for this is pointless, it's worthless. And I think that some of the Bitcoin maximalists are going to start realizing this. And it's not a competitor of Bitcoin by any means. It's like it complements Bitcoin. It makes Bitcoin, it gives Bitcoin another use case. You can use Bitcoin to enter this platform, and it's different than any other crypto in that it's not only the crypto and the belief that the crypto is going to go up in value that's making it go up in value, but it's a absolute use case in that there's a whole social media platform that you need this crypto to utilize it with.
Well, and at the same time, like, I don't think we should alienate Bitcoin maximalists. I think we should welcome them with open arms to BitClout. We don't need them. The platform doesn't need them. It doesn't really need crypto people either. But I think the philosophy should be for welcoming everybody with open arms, including them. And I look forward to, interacting with them and seeing where it goes with them on the platform. It's like you can't have a decentralized social media platform without having that pays its creators and takes the monetization away from these corporations and into the hands of creators without really having its own cryptocurrency. Maybe the Bitcoin maximalists are going to say, well, you could have just done it with Bitcoin. But in reality, it wouldn't have worked out with Bitcoin, because then nobody can just invest in the idea. And I think the idea that you can invest in the idea of decentralized social media on the blockchain by buying BitClout, the cryptocurrency, is huge as well, because everybody doesn't want to use a social media platform. A lot of people are against social media, but they like the idea of having a platform that is not controlled by a corporation or any single entity. And those people can now invest in that idea simply by buying the cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and I think that buying the Clout coin is pretty much on par with buying stock in Facebook or stock in Twitter or stock in Google, in that if BitClout.com and all the nodes become super successful, then that Clout coin is going to rise in value. And so it has two different, I guess, philosophies. One is that you think BitClout's going to succeed as a platform, and you want to get in and buy the Clout coin as kind of a stake in the company, or you believe that the Clout coin is just going to go up in value like Dogecoin. So
it's not a company. Don't say it.
Yeah, and I put company in air quotes, because company as in an organization that's making up a social media platform.
Well, I don't even
we're all the organization. We're all the organization. Stop talking over me. We're all the organization.
Okay, if you say so. All right, well, I think that's a good place to leave off. Is there any other news? I know, so there's one other thing we're going to post about in a little bit, and that is that there's a Wikipedia article on BitClout. And like I said, we're going to post a link to this probably in the post after this video.
And one other thing I want to add is that
wait, you didn't let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. So there's a
Wikipedia I'm sorry that this episode has turned into such a feud. It's Ed's fault.
So the Wikipedia article is very inaccurate and very outdated, and it needs to be corrected. So I'm going to post a link to that later today, and I hope some of the people in the community can go on there and correct the facts that are wrong, or I guess they're not facts anymore, but correct the information that's wrong and put the real facts in there.
Yeah,
find
and
your
before
turn.
we close this out, also something we noticed yesterday was that the CEO of Binance, which is a crypto exchange that does about 500% the volume as Coinbase, his account on BitClout received $170,000 in coin buys. Not saying that he's joining, but it's probably a pretty good indication that something's happening in that respect.
Yeah, they say follow the big money and other investments. So it's interesting. Does somebody know something that the rest of us don't know? Perhaps. But at the same time, he hasn't claimed his account yet. So it's all just a guessing game right now. And that would be a good place to end day 85. Sorry for the arguing and sorry for Brian talking over me. See you tomorrow.